Freedom is everything to me, especially financial freedom. Being able to make enough money where I can travel the world, pursue my interests and hobbies, and provide for my family in a way where I don't need to be working a job where I need to be sitting on my desk or be somewhere for 8 to 10 hours a day has always been a core principle and vision of mine. Because back in 2022, I was living the exact opposite. I was working at a 9 to 5, working from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., helping the company I was working at earn $400 million in revenue every single year. And my salary was stuck at $54,000 a year. Now, if you're anything like me, you hate trading hours of your day to earn a set amount of money and see only very little changes to that every single year, and only have a limited amount of vacation days per year, maybe at most 30 days. And to me, that was absolutely unacceptable because I knew I had the potential to build something that I could get paid for based on my skills and the things that I build, not on the hours I work at a company. What I want is I want leverage. I want to build assets or to build a business that'll be able to provide me a life of space and freedom and get paid an uncapped amount of money. Because when you build a business, the amount of money you can make is completely dependent on the leverage that you have in your business, not on the hours that you work. So I set out a plan to escape my 9 to 5, a plan to freedom. Start an online business that'll make enough money for me to quit and have a life of freedom. So my plan was simple. Before I clock into my job at 8 a.m. or around 9 a.m., I'd work for 2 focused hours building my online business right before I started work. And on the weekends, I'd put up to 6 hours of focus work if I could. In 3 months of consistent focus execution, I built up enough leverage in my online business to be able to replace my 9 to 5 income and allowing me to quit. And mind you, this is just in 2 focus hours of work every single day. Maintaining focus and building leverage is what allowed me to quit my 9 to 5 and unlock a life of freedom. But now, in the near future, I'm planning to start a family and I want to be traveling and doing a lot more things. So that's going to require more money. But I don't want to be trading my time for money. So what does that mean? That means more leverage. That means building things in my business that'll be able to work for me and do the hard work for me and generate me money so that I don't need to work more hours. So I'm starting a new project, and this project is going to be specifically focused on building leverage. Now, my goal is to build leverage to a point where I can earn $50,000 a month working only 2 hours a day. And I'm calling this project Project Build Leverage. And I'm going to be doing this specifically my way. I'm going to be working towards earning $50,000 a month and then being able to earn that in 2 hours a day through building leverage and not trading my time for it. So the goal of Project Build Leverage is simple. I want to build leverage in my business to where I can generate $500,000 in profit in 2 hours a day. That is going to be the end outcome goal. That's when I'm going to know when I have built up enough leverage. And I'm going to be doing it specifically my way. So the goal is to hit $50,000 a month, but I want to be doing it where I can operate my business on 2 to 4 hours a day. Okay. If I'm working more than 4 hours a day, 8 hours a day, then that means I don't have enough leverage. And at the same time, I want to focus on no more than 2 to 4 activities. The last thing I want to do is to be multitasking, being really split focused, scattered focus on multiple activities every single day. And I want my business to be simple. 2 to 4 activities every day, no more than 2 to 4 hours a day, earn that amount of money so I can have the freedom to do the things that I want to. Second thing is I want to attract clients and customers with no sales calls and no chasing. What I want to do is I want to build assets and build up communication that will get people to want to become clients of mine. So that means I'm going to be focusing heavily on YouTube and email. I'm going to go more into that later on in the slides. Third thing is instead of me doing hard work myself, I want to build digital assets and systems that will work for me while I'm not, so I can take vacations whenever I want to. So this will likely be onboarding systems, flows, client portals, AI workflows, and so on. I'm going to go more into that in a moment. Fourth thing, I want to get paid repeatedly for the work I do instead of trading the hours for dollars. And finally, I want to run a simple operation, which is likely going to be me and potentially a VA in the future. And I want to maintain high profit margins so I can have a life of space. And real quick, if you want access to this PDF document, you can grab it for free in the link below in the description, and can feel free to take the insights from this and apply it to your business or to your life. Now, I want to emphasize again that I'm doing this specifically my way, because most business owners, what they would do is they would simply set the goal of hitting $50,000 a month, and they wouldn't specify how they would get there. And what would happen is they would just end up working 12 plus hours a day and not being able to take a vacation. And that's because they focus on trying to hit their revenue goals so fast that they focus on labor. They go straight to what is the easiest. Let's trade more of our time for more money. So they end up doing it through working more hours and doing more. So they might hit their goal of, let's say, $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month, but at what cost? They're likely not going to have any freedom. That is not what I want. I do not want to end up like most business owners. What I want is pretty simple. I want to hit my big revenue goals, which is $50,000 a month. But again, I want to do it through leverage, if I did not emphasize this enough. And leverage happens when you work less hours and you have the things that you build do the heavy lifting for you so that I can maintain a life of freedom. That's what I define as leverage. And to help me avoid getting trapped into trading my hours for money, I'm going to be setting some rules and guidelines. Rule number one is I'm not going to be setting any deadlines. And I'm going to explain why in a moment. So no deadlines. I'm not setting deadlines for Project Build Leverage because when you set short-term deadlines, your brain will naturally focus on the gap. So let's say this is your goal over here, right over here. This is your goal. If you set a deadline, what's going to happen is your brain is going to focus on the gap. Okay? And when you focus on the gap, this creates tremendous pressure. So you're going to start thinking of, how can I close this gap as soon as possible within the deadline? And when you do that, you're going to have short-term thinking. Short-term thinking. Short-term thinking. And you're going to have short-term thinking because you're going to be comparing the progress that you made or how much you achieved to the gap. And when you do that, you start thinking that you're not good enough, you're a failure, you must do more, time is running out, I have to do more things. So you'll likely start experiencing shiny object syndrome as well. So instead of focusing on leverage, you're going to be focusing on short-term thinking. And when you start thinking of short-term thinking, you start thinking about what are the money-generating activities that'll make me money today. So you're going to start thinking really short-term, instead of thinking of building long-term leverage, which is what I'm trying to avoid. My goal is to build leverage, not to add things to my plate that will have me working more hours. Okay, and there's a big difference between short-term money, thinking short-term money, and thinking long-term money. Okay, long-term money generally won't pay you now, because if you think about it, like building leverage takes a lot of time. So by the time you're building the leverage, you're not making any money in the time you're building it. But once you build it and it's online, that's when it starts generating you money and results. So this is why a lot of people gravitate towards short-term money, because it will pay you immediately right now. So short-term money generating activities will pay you now, but they won't pay you in the long term. Easy way to explain this is sales calls. It's sales calls, sending DMs, post social media, doing one-on-one client work. These are the things that will likely pay you now, but don't continually work for you in the future. Because when you do the activity, you get paid today, but you have to do it again tomorrow, the next day, and again the next week. For me, my goal is to focus on long-term money generating activities and not short-term money generating activities. Now, if you want to make money fast, you can easily focus on short-term money. Let's say here, you want to make money fast. This is your timeline. You want to make money fast. Then yes, short-term money will make more sense. I don't want to make money fast. I want to make wealth. I want to generate wealth. So I want to make money in a way where I don't need to work extensive hours. So I'm going to extend my timeline to a long-term horizon, which is why I'm setting no deadlines. Now, when it comes to long-term money generating activities, again, they won't pay you much now, but they will pay you repeatedly in the long term. So think about posting YouTube videos, growing your email list, creating email sequences, building workshops and trainings, SOPs. If you run a team, training your team, hiring your team, really building leverage in your business. Now, these take time to build and create, but once you build and create it, it will continue to work for you. It won't rely on you showing up continuously every single day. And the best thing is what I like to call long-term money assets is that these compound on each other and eventually generate you big money in the long run. Okay? So for example, let's say you have a 5,000 plus email list. That could easily generate you 20K plus monthly through just sending emails and running offers, because you have a list of qualified leads, subscribers that know you and trust you. And at any time you could spin up a new offer and make money on demand. So that is a form of leverage. If you have 100 plus YouTube videos, you already build up your brand. You have these videos that will already explain people on your philosophy, your offer, and that already attracts qualified leads without you needing to post consistently on Instagram or on social media. That is really powerful because you now technically have a sales asset library that will sell for you instead of you needing to do sales calls or continuously post and send DMs on social media. Let's say you have workshops and training. So instead of you needing to teach people one-on-one, you have assets that will do the training for you. And these could act as self-service assets that could serve an unlimited amount of people. You create it once, it continuously work for you. Not only that, but you can sell these workshops and trainings to other people. Let's say you have digital systems and AI workflows. Let's say you have a tool that you use, an AI prompt that you created. These can help serve clients automatically. This can help you get work done faster and allow you to handle higher volume of work without adding more hours to your calendar. So just think about it. When you have, let's say 100 plus YouTube videos working as your sales team, you have 5,000 email subscribers that you could just send an offer, and you have workshops selling themselves, or you have trainings and you have a client portal that self-services your clients. That's what I call leverage. And that's my goal, is that I want to have my assets or the things that I create do the heavy lifting instead of me needing to grind doing one-on-one activities or one-to-one activities. So this is my focus on Project Build Leverage, is to prioritize long-term money generating activities in my business to build leverage. Now, real quick, in simple terms, leverage is the difference between trading time for money and building assets that generate money without trading time. So a lot of people, when they focus on building a business, they end up trading time for money. I'm doing Project Build Leverage in a point where I want to build assets that generate money without trading my time. And because of that, I'll need to set no deadline. And the next thing I'll do is I'll ask the leverage test question. Will this still be working for me next year? If it will continue working for me next year, then yes, it is a leverage. That is an activity that is a long-term generating activity. If it doesn't pass this question, then it is likely a short-term money generating activity. Then I will likely have to address it and decide whether I want to actually do it in my routine and I want to add that to my plate. Now, leverage takes time to build. It's not like you can just immediately build leverage out of nowhere. It just takes weeks, months, and sometimes years. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to worry about how long it takes me to get to $50,000 a month. I'm going to worry more about the progress I make and the leverage I build, which gets me to rule number 2, which is I'm going to focus on the progress and not on the gap. So instead of looking at the gap, which was previously over here, I'm not going to look at that. What I'm going to look at is I'm going to focus on the progress I made. So the leverage I build, the assets I create, the digital assets I develop, and everything that I build, I'm going to focus on that. I'll look at my $50,000 a month goal. I'll visualize it. I'll see it as a direction. I'll use it as an ideal, as a standard to identify whether I'm making progress, but I'm not going to use it as something that I compare to. Because if I compare it to, it's going to make me go back to short-term money generating activities to make me have a short-term mindset. And with that, I'm going to also avoid shiny object syndrome. So I'm going to focus on the things that will actually work. The YouTube, the email, I know that's going to work. That's leveraged. If I'm focusing too much on the revenue, I'll start doubting it when it's not working, when maybe 1 week it's not getting results. It is actually going to get results in the next week. So these things take time. So I'm going to have a long-term mindset. I'm going to focus on the progress. Even if it's slow, I'm still going to make sure that I focus on that, because I'm not going to try to rush things. If I rush things, then I'm going to have shiny object syndrome. So the focus is going to be build leverage first and let the money follow naturally. And I'm going to focus on fewer higher leverage activities that I know 100% will compound over time. And I'm going to focus on the compound effect and not on results right now, which is linear thinking. Like going back over here, if I were to set a short timeline and focus really on getting to my revenue goal, I'm going to focus on linear short-term money generating activities. They are linear because every single hour you put into a sales call, sending a DMs, you're going to get paid more money, but it's linear. What I want to do is I want to focus on things that compound. And things that compound don't get results really quickly. So I'm going to focus, even if it's slow progress, I know 100% that if I stay consistent with it, it will eventually get me exponential results. Okay, so that's why. So I'll compare where I started and what leverage I've built so far as my benchmark for progress. This ensures I stay 100% focused on building leverage on my business and not on adding activities on my plate that trades time for money, short-term money generating activities. I'll focus on the actions that will lead to the outcome I want. And this gets me to rule number 3. So rule number 3 is, instead of being super hyper focused on earning $50,000 a month, I'm going to set performance and behavior goals on what will build leverage that will eventually allow me to hit 50K per month working 2 hours a day. So instead of only setting revenue targets that create pressure and impedes long-term leverage thinking, I'm going to set performance goals. So performance goals work like so. So I'll look at the activities that are directly influenceable towards my 50K per month goal. Okay, like I explained before, this is likely going to be YouTube, growing my email list, building workshops. These are things that are under my control, that I could pull the lever, that I can influence, that will eventually likely move or like leverage toward this goal, will move this goal. So as long as I focus on the activities that I'm going to set, I'll be able to progress towards making the money. So I'd rather focus on the activities that are in my control, this is in my control, than be so fixated on this which is out of my control, which is not directly in my control, but it is influenceable. So I'd rather focus on the things that I could do right now. Okay, so these goals will focus on the forms of leverage I can build to control. So the assets I build, the content I create, the systems I develop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 100% focus on my performance goals to let my revenue targets fall in place. This allows me to focus on leverage that work for me in years and not get distracted by shiny objects to try to hit a revenue goal within a deadline to brag on social media, which is what most business owners do. So speaking about the performance goals I'm setting for Project Build Leverage, here are the performance goals and behavior goals I'll be setting. So goal number 1 is I'm going to be focusing on replacing one-to-one activities with one-to-many activities. So here's how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to map out my business and identify every activity that requires my personal time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it with a digital asset, a code, media, or tool. So digital asset can be a document, it can be an image, it can be a database, it can be an automation, it can be a video, it could be an AI prompt or a model, it could be a swipe file. It's looking for things that I could implement, a tool, a form of tool, a code, or media. They'll be able to do the hard work for me instead of me doing it manually. So for example, instead of doing one-on-one sales calls, I'll try to create a high quality video sales letter or an offer document or a landing page that will do the selling for me. Instead of doing one-on-one client work, I'll try to focus on creating an AI workflow that will help self-service the client on their own time instead of requiring it on my time. Instead of doing personal DMs, I'll grow an email list and try to get people to come to me and send daily broadcast emails or daily insights that will help nurture them and build up anticipation towards my offers and direct them to my YouTube channel. Instead of helping clients and team members one by one, I'll try to create a workshop or a training or an SOP that'll help them get up to speed without requiring me to spend hours of my time explaining to them. So in a nutshell, the whole idea is, instead of doing one-to-one, an activity that's one-to-one, I'm going to be focusing on doing one-to-N. How can I create an asset, or how can I use a tool that will continuously work for me N amount of times in the future? Like if I create a video, that'll reach N amount of people. If I create one document, it can be used N amount of times. If I create an automation, it can run N amount of times. If I have a swipe file, instead of me needing to think every single time, I can just reference the swipe file. Okay, same thing with a model and video, like frameworks. All these things help you get more work done in less time and not require your personal time. So simply, I look for ways what I'm already doing manually, and anytime I find something that is time consuming, I'll try to turn it into a scalable asset or create a workflow that allow me to do the activity faster or more leverage. So every one-on-one activity I replace will become a one-to-many asset. I'll look for a way to do that so that I can regain back hours, so I can teach more people or reach more people, and so I can make my business more leveraged and more scalable. So that's goal number one. Try to look for ways where I can implement one-to-many assets. Goal number two is, I'm going to try to build and develop client delivery assets and systems where I don't need to continuously help clients or time consuming with clients. I want to be able to fulfill to my clients in around 4 hours a week. That is the goal, 4 hours a week. And as you can imagine, being able to deliver to clients 4 hours a week is not easy. It's going to require a lot of leverage. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to focus on building an onboarding flow and sequence so clients can get familiar with the systems that I use, digital assets. This will likely require a lot of infographics, documents, videos. Just the exact way that I'll explain it in a call, I'll create a video that'll help them do it self-service. And it will likely be more valuable because they can do it in their own time. AI-powered support workflow, so they could kind of like pick my brain. So I'll try to extract all the principles that I follow into an AI prompt, an AI workflow. So instead of them requiring to pick my brain, they could pick an AI version of me or an AI prompt that I created. And I could enter the picture only when it's critical, or I could add towards the AI output. Next thing is workshops and training, so people can get familiar with the process and how I do things. And then system digital asset templates that people could swipe and plug and play into their business, so that I don't need to install it for them. So eliminating heavy investment from my part. And the goal is this, so I can serve more clients without working more hours and allowing me to spend my energy on higher value clients that are willing to pay more money for my attention and time. Okay, because not everyone wants to spend a lot of money with coaching, but a lot of people are willing to spend an affordable amount of time to swipe the assets that you have and the systems that you have. So I think the market is moving towards a position where people don't want coaching. They just want systems, plug and play. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to develop that. And the people that want coaching, that actually value it, I'll offer that to them, but it's going to be more expensive because it's going to be based on my time. And time is the most valuable thing that you have in this life. Goal number three is, I'm going to build my YouTube sales asset library. So YouTube is super powerful. I know every single big brand, every single like wealthy infopreneur, I'd like to call it, it takes YouTube seriously. So I'm going to be taking YouTube very seriously. So I'm going to be focusing on creating videos consistently, 1 to 3 videos every week. And the reason why is because YouTube videos act as long-term money assets, because the videos can continue to rack up views over months and sometimes years. So just imagine having 100 plus videos on your YouTube channel, and that continues to get you views. That is basically the definition of wealth. It's an assets that work for you. So I know YouTube works because one video I posted a year ago generated me $10,000 alone in clients, and it continues to generate views and leads today. So this is the video. It got me 3,000 views, and other videos that I post that gets me decent amount of views and gets me leads and grows my email list. So that's leverage. I can work to create one YouTube video and I'll get paid repeatedly from it. So that is my goal. My goal is to create 1 to 3 YouTube videos a week that'll work as my sales team. So instead of me having a sales team that'll do outbound prospecting, follow up, and so on, I'll have a YouTube video do that for me. Super powerful. So each video will be created to attract qualified prospects. I'll use it to demonstrate expertise, my journey, and convert viewers into email subscribers, where I'm going to be converting subscribers into customers and clients. And the best thing about this is, as my video library grows, new viewers can binge watch my older content. So it's a compound effect. Each video compounds in each other. So let's say I post video 100, it'll benefit from videos 1 to 99, because viewers that like that video can go to my YouTube channel and watch all the other 99 videos, and they'll be super familiar with my philosophy, and they'll more likely would want to buy my offer. So there's a study by Google called the 7-11-4. I'm not quite sure about it, but for people to make the idea of people working with you, it takes around 7 hours of consumption. Like actually paying attention and watching your stuff. It takes around 7 hours. So my goal is to implement this rule, 7-11-4. Continuously post YouTube videos. Some videos, some people might not like, some videos will like, but generally to create enough videos where I could cater to people, where they can get 7 hours of consumption, join my email list, and eventually want to become a customer or client through that, instead of me needing to require to send DMs and continuously post on social media. So what this will do, this will create deeper trust, higher conversion than any short form piece of content, which is why I'm going to be taking YouTube very seriously. Now, goal number 4 is going to work together with YouTube, is grow my email list. Again, I'm not going to be sending DMs, so I'm going to need a way where I could promote my offer and get people to buy. So that's where the email list comes in. Now, email list is really important because email is the only platform I actually own. YouTube, I can get banned. Instagram, I can get shadow blocked, banned. All these social media platforms I don't own, but email, I actually own that. I could send an email whenever I want. And not only that, but the open rates of email are significantly better than the visibility rate on social media. So growing your email list is kind of like growing a well that you can continuously get water from. So it is the best, it's like your biggest safety net as an entrepreneur. So I like this quote a lot. As an entrepreneur, you don't have many safety nets, but this one safety net you have is your email list, which is a great database of warm leads. And that's valuable because every lead is an asset in your business. So my goal is to collect my leads. It's to build up an audience on my email list, which is what I actually own. And on the email list, I'll be sending daily insights. So whenever someone discovers me on YouTube, and let's say if I decide to post on social media, which is not going to be a core focus of mine, I'll direct them to join my email list, which is going to be called the 2 Hour Man's newsletter, where I'll send a daily actionable insight on how to transform your business from time dependent to leverage focus so you can make more money while working 2 hours a day. So I'm going to be sending the exact same insights that I'll be sharing in this YouTube channel, updating people on my journey, sharing offers and invites to people to digital assets and systems that I build out that might be relevant to them, that could help them out. So in simple terms, right now, my target audience, or if you are a business owner, you might be doing everything yourself. You might be doing the marketing, the sales, the delivery, the operations in your business. You might be working 8 hours in your day. What I'm going to do is you join my email list. I'm going to give you daily insights on how you could start working on your business, not working in your business. So how can you build those assets and systems? How can you build leverage that all add up together to create this ecosystem that generates you profit? And if you want that, you can feel free to join my email list in the link below in the description. You can get that. Now, real quick, to join my email list, I set clear expectations. So I send daily. So it is going to be frequent, and I make promotional offers. So I'm going to make it very clear. So my goal is to make money out of my email list and is to help people get exposure to my offers. I run a business. I don't give things for free. I want people to actually take the things seriously that I create and actually implement and experience the value to it. So that means I need to make promotional offers and I need to tell people about it daily. So I'm going to be clear about that so I can deter people that never buy or complain about daily emails. So if you're a type of person that is constantly looking for free stuff, don't join my email list. You won't like it. And probably don't subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. So my goal is to get people exposure to my intellectual property and to my ideas and to insights, and then try to convert them to a subscriber, to a customer or client. Because I want people to actually experience the value and intellectual property I create. So I need to charge for that, because if you don't charge for that, people don't actually implement. They'll just put it into their free value folder where they implement someday. Okay, so what I will do is I'll send 1 email a day minimum, and at times I might send 2 to 3 times a day to do 2 things: to shift people's perspective and share an actionable insights to help people make more money working less hours. And number 2, give people an opportunity to buy an offer or to become a client. Okay, so that's the 2 objectives of email. So email is a core place I'll be selling, because I will not be sending cold DMs or doing sales calls. This is why email and YouTube will be a core focus of mine. What I want is I want people to be pre-sold, and all I have to do is invite them and they pay. Simple as that. I want my email list to do the nurturing. I want my YouTube videos to do the prospecting and the nurturing as well, and the selling. So I'll let the systems do the selling for me rather than me needing to convince people. Goal number 5 is I want to pull people into my world with the 2-hour funnel. Okay, so as my email list grows and as I invite subscribers to exclusive offers of my intellectual property and the systems that I use, they'll help them regain back time and energy. What I'll do is I'll try to package what works for me into plug and play assets. This could be AI prompts, frameworks, systems, or workshops that people can immediately consume or implement into their business and get a taste of my approach. So the way that I'm going to do this is, most people will come into my world as they don't know what I'm doing. They're unfamiliar. So they're a prospect. This is a prospect. They're unfamiliar. My goal is to get them to become a customer or someone that buys customer, so they can get familiar with my approach. So it is much easier to convert a customer to a client, like so. Let's say this is a client that pays you more money. This is a big client. It's much easier to get a prospect to buy something small, which is affordable, let's say affordable, to become a customer, and then they get a taste of what you do. Then you can upsell them to your higher paid thing. Now, a lot of people in the market, what they will do is they'll try to skip this. They'll try to go straight from prospect to client, which is really hard because you're asking for a lot. So I'm not going to be doing that, because if I do that, it's going to require me to do more work. It requires me to do convincing, sales calls, back and forth follow-up, which is not what I want to do. What I'm going to do is going to follow a funnel that'll get people to turn them into a prospect, into a customer, and then into a client. Okay, so this is why I'm going to be packaging what I create into an offer so I can turn them into customers. So, and if customers want access to all of my intellectual property, I can invite them to become a client of mine in my community called the 2-Hour Club, which is where I host all of my digital assets, systems, templates, checklists, AI processes, and anything I built will be in my school community, the 2-Hour Club. Now, and then if people want even more access to me, I can offer them to work with me one-on-one, where I can help them build up the systems in their business, basically get access to me. There's going to be an upsell charge, and it's likely going to be my most expensive thing. It's not going to be cheap because it's going to require my time. Okay, so the goal, again, is to make it easy for people to want to work with me or to get exposure to see how it's going to look like to work with me as a client, instead of me needing to chase them and paint that picture for them. I'll make the next step feel easy and logical, not a high-pressure decision where people need to think about dropping a large sum of money. Now, this is the 2-hour funnel. I'm going to be creating a video on this in the next series in Project Build Leverage. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. And this will likely be a video in the series. So if you want that, we'll see that in the next episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this system do the selling for me so that I don't need to chase clients. Goal number 6. Goal number 6 is I'm going to be implementing performance systems to optimize my performance and daily routine. So running a business is not easy. There's a lot of things that goes into it. And to build leverage, you need to find the time in your day to actually build the leverage. So you need to be intentional with your time. So what I did was I built an integrated dashboard on Notion that allows me to manage all of my projects, business operation, and personal performance in one simple view. So I call it the focus zone. And on the focus zone, I could track multiple things. I could track my calendar, which is right over here, calendar. I can track my habits, my digital assets, or the notes that are applicable for me. So SOPs, notes, and then all my digital assets, my YouTube pipeline. Basically, everything that it takes for me to operate my business smoothly is in this Notion dashboard. So I have that. So a goal of mine is to implement other systems that could help me operate my business more smoothly and to further develop this Notion dashboard. I'm going to be creating a walkthrough of this in a video in the Project Build Leverage series as well. So if you want that, again, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. So this isn't just tracking. It's a complete operating system that allows me to monitor and manage my daily routine, my personal performance, ensuring that I stay focused every single day, my YouTube content pipeline, my email schedule, and my business operations to make sure everything's in one place. Because it's kind of like a video game. I like to treat business like a video game. Like, you want to see your progress. You want to have like a dashboard. You want to interact with your business like a video game, so it's actually fun and not just a black box that randomly you do random activities every day and boom, the amount of money you make just based on luck. Business is very predictable if you treat it like a video game. So this is why I'm going to implement performance systems to optimize my performance and daily routine. So every day feels fun. I could see progress in my business. I could plan. I could visualize. I could do all these things that make business as fun as a video game. So that is goal number 6, which is the final goal. Now, I'm going to focus on these 6 performance goals to ensure every week I'm making the right decisions to progress my business. And most importantly, these goals will keep me laser focused on what will help me build leverage to build my business forward. That way I don't get distracted. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my focus into building leverage until I hit the 50K mark, working 2-hour workdays. But there are things I won't do and will do. Okay. So number 1, I will not do 12-hour workdays or constant hustling. If I work a 12-hour day here and there, that's fine. But if it's not going to be something that I'm going to accept as a lifestyle. So if I'm doing that, that is a sign that I'm jumping between every platform and opportunity. I'm doing everything myself and I'm chasing immediate results instead of building systems. The goal of building systems and leverage is that I should be regaining back my time in my day and not add more work hours. And besides, if I'm working 12 hours a day, I'm not optimizing my cognitive performance. And building leverage requires high cognitive performance. I need to be creative. I need to be able to think clearly. So working more hours is detrimental to creativity and building leverage. So instead, my goal is to focus on 2 to 6 hours. 6 hours of deep work is just about the limit to how much to your maintaining peak cognitive performance. Beyond that, you're likely going to be doing busy work, and that's not my goal. I'm going to be doing minimum busy work as possible. Okay, so if I choose to work more, let's say some days I choose to work 8 hours, it'll be okay because I'll be focusing on building digital assets, or I'll be working on completing a project that will give me back time and freedom later. So my focus is performance and not productivity. Productivity and performance is different. Productivity is trying to check off a checkbox like so. Performance is making sure I focus on building leverage and I'm making progress in my business. Okay, so I care about moving the needle, not checking off tasks. Number 2 is no sales calls, cold outreach, or chasing. I won't do sales calls, cold outreach, or excessive follow-up. I'll position myself as in demand. That's what creates real value. So I'll create a YouTube channel. I'll build my email list. I'll create sales assets. I'll create marketing assets. I'll try to create communication, or I'll try to build assets that shifts people's perspective to want to buy. So I don't want to convince people myself personally or hire people to convince people like sales closers. I want to build a series of assets that will do the selling for me. Okay, so if I'm forced to do cold outreach, I'm forced to send DMs, that means I don't have enough leverage. That means my YouTube videos aren't good enough. I don't have enough email. I don't have enough people on my email list. That means I'll need to grow that. So my goal is leverage. And most importantly, I'll only work with people who understand leverage, not just revenue chasers. So it's going to be a key thing here. Ideally, my clients will want the same thing, a business that serves their life, not consumes it. Now, rule number 3 is I'll keep things as simple as possible. I'll try to keep things as simple as possible when it comes to operating my business. So I do not want to hire a big team. I do not care about making $100K per month, $1 million per month, maybe $100K per month. That might be a goal in the future, but making $1 million a month, that requires complexity. And that's not my focus on Project Build Leverage. My focus here is to focus on building leverage, specifically assets And if it's going to be a team, it's going to be me with a VA and that's it. Maybe an editor, that's a max. So I'll let digital assets do the heavy lifting instead of hiring agencies or building big teams. Again, this isn't about being cheap. It's about being smart with how I operate my business to maintain my freedom and leanness of my business. And finally, number 4 is I'm going to document and share my journey. So everything that I do in Project Build Leverage, I will share on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to be sharing weekly episodes whenever I can. So if you want that, you can subscribe to YouTube channel. So I'm going to share weekly progress updates, monthly milestone videos, the struggles I experience, the wins I make, and so on. And I'm also going to share live demonstrations of the systems that worked for me, the leverage I've built, the model I'm using, the lessons, and what's working for my clients. I'll all share it in Project Build Leverage YouTube series, which is going to be a kind of like a Netflix show. It's going to have multiple episodes every single week or every other week. Again, my goal is to give behind the scenes outlook of everything that it takes to eventually get to 50K per month business working 2 hours a day. This isn't just a project. It's a journey. I'm taking real time and inviting you to join in. So I guess that's it. Welcome to Project Build Leverage, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode.